Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode with iTrack. Huge shout out to all the iTrack fam that's been tapping in, all the iTrack fam that's in the building currently. If you didn't know, this is an oil diffuser. For all those that have been asking, yes, it's just an oil diffuser. Some frankincense, have that in the background. Keeping the energy right, keeping the air clean, you know how that goes. Appreciate each and every one of you guys for tapping in, man. If this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy TikToks and kind of evaluate for ourselves whether these are fact or fiction. If you haven't already, do me a favor and smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button if you're not already part of the iTrack fam. And without any further ado, we're going to jump right into it.
This is a previous video that I posted. By now, everyone has seen this video. But this man in Oregon saw something similar. So, to speed you up, a lot of people have been up there since his videos. And today, someone took a drone up there, which got immaculate footage. Let's take a look. To believe.
Now, I remember a few videos back, I said it. I was like, somebody needs to just take some drone footage. We're in the age of like the best quality of cameras. And somebody did. So now we can see clearly, like, that looked like a door on the side of a mountain. There's no disputing that. No blurry cameras, no pixelated cameras. That was excellent. So now the next step is, let's go inside and see what else is going on.
Did they use frequency as a weapon against us in the movie Leave the World Behind? I think they did. So I had my own experience after watching this movie. And then I came across a video of a man who downloaded the movie into a software. It's what he does for a living. And I played around with this too with my OBS, with my solfeggio videos. You can layer sound. So like I'll have a video file and then 1 or 2 audio files to make sure that the solfeggio frequency is accurate in the video. And when he downloaded Leave the World Behind, it was 1 video file and 4 audio files. And the 4th audio file was an infrasonic audio file. Infrasonic are considered stress waves. They're very bad for you. They're lower than the humans can hear, and they can cause damage to you. So I'll show you a clip of his video. But for all the people who were saying they didn't want to watch the movie, they couldn't deal with the sound, you are absolutely right. I was very sick after watching this movie, and then it took me a good 4 or 5 days to get back to my normal vibrational state after watching the movie, and I had to do all the things. And then I was thinking on it, like, what the hell happened? And I was asking the question. You ask the question to the universe, what happened? I never get sick. This doesn't happen to me. And his video came my way. So let me show you a clip of this man's video.
Here you go. Stunning. 1 video file, 4 audio files opened up. And this 4th audio file seems to be the weapon. This is a ELF, low frequency infrasonic wave, right?
I think she might have been stretching it just a little bit, because she showed the clip of the guy trying to even read what the name was. He couldn't even say the name right. So, I mean, I'm not so sure. Then again, nowadays you might not know. That movie was trending like #1 on Netflix. So if it was really doing that much harm, I doubt it would even shoot up the charts like that. But if you had an experience watching that movie, definitely let me know in the comments.
Sometimes a parasite infects the host to the point that if you take the parasite out, you're going to kill the host. That's what we have with the Federal Reserve right now.
I agree.
If you destroy the Federal Reserve right now, the American dollar is done and America is done as an empire. So the question becomes, yes, it was an evil thing when it started, but at this point, if you try to take the Federal Reserve out of the United States, we're done. We're absolutely done. And when it comes down to the Federal Reserve, I want people to understand something. Who will release the information to the American people about the Federal Reserve? It usually came out in the 80s and stuff like that, but who are the people who are basically promoting it? CCP. The CCP wanted the American people to know what the Federal Reserve was so people get angry. Our enemies will tell us the truth. If you want the truth about America, listen to China and Russia. You want the truth about Russia and China, listen to America. They will never tell on themselves. John F. Kennedy was born on the 29th. John F. Kennedy went after the Federal Reserve. He signed Executive Order 11110 on 6/4/1963. So let's do the math. We have John F. Kennedy was born on the 29th when 9/11. He waited until Executive Order 11110. He waited. The reason he did that is because 1111 is 1111. And what happened? Basically, John F. Kennedy went after the Fed with numerology. And when they killed him, 1122 in Dallas, right by a Freemason temple. And what was the first thing that Lyndon Johnson did when he became president? It wasn't burying John F. Kennedy or doing any of that. Repeal Executive Order 11110.
Now that's some information that actually makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, of course your enemy is gonna, know pretty much all your details, and they're gonna tell the truth about what you got going on, especially if it benefits them. So that actually makes sense.
I mean, we know what's coming. It's wild. Oh my God. Look at it up close. Those are little eggs in there. Look at all of them. Oh my God, there's so many. There's so many. Man.
So that's what's in that pork, huh? That's what's in that swine.
Couple of things about Katt Williams that you probably didn't know, but you definitely need to know. Katt Williams has scored one of the highest in the world IQ scores ever. Katt Williams' father is a scientist and his mother is a doctor. So you could rest assured that if Katt Williams got on national TV and said all the things that he said publicly, he did that shit on purpose. Katt Williams is one of the most intelligent black men in the world, and you can check that fact if you want.
Now, I actually did see some of those facts in this little biography that was running about comedians, and when they brought up Katt Williams, he definitely is that smart. He's not a ignorant man by any means. This is definitely what's trending right now, and the majority of people are saying that there was aliens there. I guess the police department of that county put out a statement saying it was just teens in the mall shooting off illegal fireworks. But we've heard these cover-up stories before. But I guess the real question is if there was aliens, what happened? Where did it go? Did it just disappear or what? Because we only see that footage. And if you notice, the footage is all grainy. You know, I'm talking about, I need the 4K. Bring the 4K. Shoot the drone footage just like they did the other video. You know, let's see the real thing. But that's wild. We got to stay tuned because I'm sure more evidence and more videos are gonna pop up in the days coming.
Pay attention and listen, because Katt Williams explains why Mark Zuckerberg is building an underground bunker. Look.
What he building a $270 million bunker? What do you know that we don't know, Katt?
Kim Jong-un? I don't know what you don't know. Do you understand that people that are not very bright are in charge of nuclear bombs all across the country? That's what he knows. He knows that 30% of all weapons systems are running off regular Wi-Fi. So what does that mean? That means if a solar flare or a meteor hits either one of those, literally a bomb can go off just because the system accidentally got turned off. Yeah, that's what he knows. The people that are in power know that the people that are running the most complicated and deadliest things on the planet are just an average idiot. And you know lots of idiots.
I do.
Yep. And these people are not special. Back in the day they were.
Yeah.
Not today.
Now I watched that whole interview and that little bit slid right by me. And that makes all the sense in the world. It doesn't have to be any kind of deeper conspiracy theory behind it. You know, if you had the real money and the means to, you probably build a bunker too. I mean, if you really knew that, you know, there was just a guy that was emotionally charged and all he had to do was just press a button to really just, you know, mess some things up all across the world, I'm pretty sure you build a bunker too. So that makes sense. That makes sense. He kind of makes it very plain and clear.
Next year's going to be 2024, which is an 8. People can go back to wanting that bag.
Wow, so you're able to predict recessions using numerology.
What they're going to be interested in based off the energy that the earth is spinning around. So for instance, does it mean that everyone in the world's going to pick up on it? No, this is a percentage game. If 5% of the world was interested in 2022, I would say about 23% of the world. You see posts now of people saying, yo, it's from the so-called alpha male red pill guys. All of a sudden they're having posts, yo, this numerology, astrology stuff's real. Next year, it's going to be about finances. Next year, it's going to be more about the Bitcoin, crypto, because people are going to be super focused on finances.
Yeah.
And then 2025 hits, we'll go back to the spirituality realm. Let me ask you this. You're a crypto guy.
Yeah.
You make your money off crypto. Do you believe people should have a certain percentage of their portfolio in gold and silver? And if so, what percent do you think it should?
A lot of it depends sort of on age as well. If you're close to retirement age, probably a little more gold and silver. When you're a lot younger, you need to be investing in things that can grow fast versus when you're older, you want things to maintain value and steadily go up. So gold's going to be a lot better for someone that's a lot older.
Yeah, I think, you know, as far as that goes, I think he's pretty right about that. You know, the majority of people are kind of prepping themselves and getting everything ready because when real estate truly crashes or, you know, when things become opportune, you know, people want to be in position. I read somewhere today that a guy bought a building in Chicago that was once worth $40 million. He bought it for like $3 million. So yeah, it's slowly starting to happen, and he's right. People are focused, definitely focused. I'm focused. Hey, this year is the year.
Exercise you can do is you go up to somebody from an angle where they can't see you coming up to them, and you surprise them. You go, hey Mike, whatever. They turn. For that second, their expression reveals how they really think about you. You'll detect if you can pick up micro expressions, and you can. They're only like 1/150th of a second, but they're there. You can express a kind of, and they smile. You can see the little disdain in their eyes, right? Then the mask comes on, right? Or you're talking to them, they're looking at you, but their feet are facing in an opposite direction. That means that they're dying to get away from you, kind of thing. These are signals that you don't necessarily pay attention to. Their posture will tell you everything about their levels of confidence, right? On and on and on. The fake smile, if you could just master the ability to detect the fake smile, it will go wonders for you, because you're able to see what you really want to do is to see the person with a genuine smile, particularly in romantic relationships.
Nah, he was just dropping a whole lot of gems right there. If you missed that, if it went over your head, you might want to rewind that one back, because that's huge. I mean, especially when you want to just save time, because sometimes you might be in the presence of somebody who doesn't want to be in your presence. So you need to, save time, read body language. I've done that the majority of my life, is just read body language, because people are always talking even when they're not. So yeah, he definitely was dropping some gems on that one.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was not to convince the world that he doesn't exist, was to convince the world that he's an alien. I believe technology may already exist, and it could be the CERN project, I don't know. I believe they figured a way to open that dimension into our dimension. And that is why they are now releasing all this stuff. They precondition us with movies. These guys were playing around with these beings to begin with, but they're not aliens, bro. They're demonic. When people take ayahuasca, what happens sometimes, they see these elves. It's not elves, bro. You just saw demons. The reason some of them are nice is because, like I told you earlier, they have free will. You might have came across the ones that are actually nice. The ones that are aligned with Satan, they're evil. So people go into these trips, man. I can't mention her name. She was in a big Hollywood movie. She hits me up. She's like, I'm having nightmares. I'm like, what did you do? She's like, I took ayahuasca and I'm just seeing the most horrific nightmares I have ever seen in my life. I cannot sleep. I'm like Freddy Krueger, but she's like terrified to go to sleep. She performed some prayer. I sent her some water to cleanse herself with, to like baptize basically. The next day she slept perfect. She's like, I don't know what you did, but it worked. She like basically cleansed. This realm is real, Danny. These people have been worshiping, I believe, and working with these beings for a very long time. This is a demonic agenda to destroy humanity, to make us go, because the devil's always going to make us go against what God made us. God made us beautiful. He made us together. He made us in pairs. He made us binary, man and woman, right? And we are now at the end, I believe, of a very corrupt time we're living in. I believe there is no way out for us. I know it's our duty to stand up against injustice. I really think that we're towards the end of time. I don't think humanity, I know this sounds crazy to people, but I think that based on the signs of the end of the world in Christianity and Islam's very specific, by the way. Some of the signs in Islam, when buildings touch the sky in the Arab world, he said, the day will come where the pagan Arabs, but the Arabs will like make buildings that touch the sky. And as soon as they build one, they'll build another, and they'll compete with each other. Now Saudi Arabia is building the biggest building on earth. And they're going to boast about it. He said this 1400 years ago. He said the day will come when dishes communicate. They're going to talk to each other and families will be torn apart. The word he used back then is the word that the Arabs use today for satellite television, bro. Dishes will talk. He said they're going to hang up mats on their walls. Like you have this TV, it looks like he's like, they're going to hang them up. And he used his hands. He made like a rectangle. They're going to put them on the wall and it's going to destroy their souls. Because all you see on it is filth, Danny. These are his words, bro. You read these prophecies. They're amazing, man. He said men will become women, women will become men. He said that you just got to go study the signs of the end of the world and in Christianity and Islam. It'll blow your mind away.
Now, a lot of what he was saying was facts, but I definitely encourage, you got to go do your own homework on that. The books are out there. They even got Bible apps, so the Quran and the Bible, definitely check it out because the signs are there. There's a lot of prophetic reference in both of those, and he didn't make that up. Real things.
What's going on here?
Breaking news out of Rhode Island. They're calling it possibly the biggest screw-up ever in state history. See all this
Real life, leave the world behind, y'all.
Thoroughfare. The Washington Bridge connects 195, Rhode Island and Massachusetts, has to be closed. Now, all kind of rumors are spread that the governor knew about this, but he didn't want to ruin his weekend for the Army-Navy game. This is 100,000 commuters a day travel on this, closed for the next 4 to 6 months, and they knew about it, didn't tell the public.
sprung it on everybody. There's Governor McKee, was nowhere to be found when the news broke. People are locked, gridlock. It's taking 3 hours to go 5 miles. There's no solution in sight. They notified everyone in the state by sending out a message.
If you know,
keep in mind the budget for the DOT is $1 billion a year. Where'd the money go? Why weren't they checking this bridge? They claim that it's critical. They had to do this to save lives. It's all nonsense.
Yeah, right.
The governor knew about it. Heads should roll. Massive incompetence. You have commuters, daily commuters, 100,000 a day suddenly can't get point A to point B. Picture the West Side Highway, New York, suddenly shut down. Massive failure of government in the state of Rhode Island.
Come on, big troll alert. Come on, leave them comments. Ramu can't make this up.
Yeah, he said 3 hours to go 5 miles. Yeah, Rhode Island definitely has LA beat big time. I mean, if you are in the if you're in that Rhode Island area, definitely let me know if that's a fact or if that's fiction, because that's wild. I couldn't imagine. I'd be sad about it.
I'm prepared to state that I have been at locations where craft of unknown origin that did not originate on the face of this planet was there. I am prepared to state that while I was there, we saw living, dead bodies of entities that were not born on this planet. I am prepared to state that we had what they referred to as interfacing with those entities. We have contact with aliens not originating from some foreign country, but from some other solar system. And I have been a party to that. I've worked it, I've been there, and I know some of the things we do is really terrible. They are not hostile toward us. We're the enemy in this instance, but we're the enemy, I like to think, for the good reasons. We're concerned about what some other country might do. I have concluded that I'm fighting against the clock, that I have but a short time to try to convince people that we are moving in an avenue where we are going to militarize space. Once we militarize space, we will have a whole new avenue of technology open up to us. While NASA says it's going to take another 1,400 years before we achieve what we call interstellar travel, I'm telling you, by the end of this century, we will be doing that. We want to acquire this technology. We want to make this technology part of our own technology. Within the next 25 years, we're going to militarize space. As a result of militarizing space, we are going to acquire new technology. We're going to evolve new technology that's going to lead us into interstellar travel. As a direct result, we will become a threat to them unless we spiritually grow also. But I feel that if we do not go ahead and spiritually grow, we are forcing the situation where the entities will eventually make themselves known. And they will make themselves known, and no power on earth can stop that from happening, in order to avoid us from going out into space. That if this should happen, it will happen to an unsuspecting world population. And that can create some very serious problems. But this doesn't deal just with the United States. It's a truth that the entire world has to be informed about. And that truth is, man is not alone. That we have people from other planets, from other solar systems coming here.
I think the majority of the population knows by now we're not alone, especially if you have aliens walking through malls in Miami, you know, allegedly. You know, more connecting of the dots. So if we're trying to militarize space, you know, and it's going to be, you know, before the century's over with, that means we might actually have a chance to see if that's a real thing.
I know the real Bernie Mac stories, and I know that the people that made money off Bernie Mac didn't like him. They hated his guts. And that was our king. But I turned it down. Why? Because you shit on Bernie. And I know the truth. You think I'm gonna let you shit on Bernie and then come get me? And now that he gone, you gonna act like he wanted to be a movie star. You stop it. You stop it. That man was funnier than all of y'all, and y'all thought y'all had one over on him.
Hey man, that hurt me, man. It really did, man, because you know it was from nowhere, man. It's just, and he, you know, they put him in a, you know, compromising position that he really didn't want to be in. And so, you know.
So right when Bernie had proven his point, and right when Bernie showed everybody who he actually was, and curtain scene.
Bernie Mac was the king of comedy, and his career seemed unstoppable. But his sudden passing at 50 years old has led to lots of speculation. A month before his sudden passing, on July 12, 2008, Bernie Mac appeared at a private fundraiser for then-presidential candidate Obama in Chicago. The crowd was filled with donors who had paid $2,300 per ticket. But Bernie refused to tone down his comedy style to appease the crowd. He launched into the usual straight-talking comedic style he was famous for, and nothing was off limits. He joked that having a black first lady is different. You're still going to have to do the dishes and the laundry and all that. And then went on to refer to women as hoes. Offended audience members began heckling him, telling him to get off the stage. He said that although he was born a Democrat, "I'm a Republican at tax time," which the audience of Democratic donors did not find amusing. When Obama finally came onto the stage, he also admonished Bernie for his act, stating, "We can't afford to be divided by religion, or by region or class, or by gender," and added, "That means, by the way, Bernie, you got to clean up your act. This is a family affair." After the fundraiser ended, the Obama campaign officially issued a statement clarifying that Obama did not condone Mac's statements, referring to them as inappropriate. Even in front of a presidential candidate and a crowd full of donors, Bernie refused to tone down his act to fit in. Right up until the end, he was fearless.
I ain't scared of you, mother.
Fame and success had not corrupted Bernie, and at the time, Bernie seemed unstoppable, with his career going from success to success. But a month later, Bernie Mac would be dead. At just 50 years old, the comedy legend suddenly passed away. His sudden death shocked the comedy world and has led to all sorts of theories over what actually happened to him.
You know, and then when they sit there and they play psychological blackmail with you.
In this video, we will discuss Bernie Mac's life and his final days, and reveal the truth.
Now, I know they didn't think Bernie was just going to change just because he was spitting jokes in front of the president now. You know, it sounded like it was funny. It sounded like it might have been, you know, a little hilarious, but it reminds me of a different story of a rapper, Eazy-E, showing up to a presidential dinner. And not too long after that, he was unalived. So that just is one of those connecting dots moments, like something's up. Something is up. And I have a feeling Katt Williams knows exactly what that is.
We've got Nephilim. We've got the Giant of Kandahar. We've got the Greys. And we've got tall whites. What's the difference? Reptilians, mantis. First of all, angels can shapeshift. We know that the dragon, the enemy Satan, can appear as an angel of light, not his true form. The Greek word, and this was taught to me by my good friend and brother who's no longer with us, Russ Dizdar. The Greek word is metaskits monosai. They have the ability to shapeshift and present themselves basically however they want to. Karen's handler, Karen Wilkinson, who we published her book, Stolen Seed, Evil Harvest. It's a must-read if you're into the alien abduction phenomena, because it's real. It's not demonic delusion. These people are taken. There is a breeding program that's going on. We talked about this in our fourth film, but then we link it later on in film number 6 on counter mutilations, and we show how they're inexorably tied together. But once again, I digress. So you've got fallen angels can shapeshift. They can appear pretty much as they want to. They can appear as your grandmother, your dead grandmother, if they choose to. Greys, the Greys with the big heads and the almond eyes, there's no reproduction system that's there. They don't eat. So what are we looking at? In my opinion, these are avatars. They are essentially meat suits. They are biological constructs for the demons. What are demons? Demons are the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. Let's back up. The seed of the dragon will be at war with the seed of the woman. So that's Genesis 3:15. That's the gateway to the rest of the biblical prophetic narrative. So the seed war erupts 3 chapters later. Fallen angels come down. We know that from the book of Enoch. 200 of them in the days of Jared on Mount Hermon. And by the way, Mount Hermon is Nephilim Central. That's where all the mischief, as Chuck Missler liked to call it, begins. That's the nexus. That's the starting point. So the Nephilim are the offspring of fallen angels and human women, creating a hybrid being known as the Nephilim. They were never supposed to be here. This is why the flood of Noah occurs. That's number one. So the Greys, let me back up. The Nephilim perish in the flood. They become the disembodied spirits which roam the earth, i.e. demons. How do we know that? The book of Enoch. Those of you who have an issue with the book of Enoch, I'll just say this. Jude quotes the book of Enoch. It was obviously widely read in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd centuries. Jude's quoting from the book of Enoch. Is it part of our canon? Now it's not. But in the Ethiopian Bible, it precedes the book of Genesis. In my opinion, if you were going to keep one book from the people, you keep the book of Enoch. You're going to keep one book away from the people of the world. That's the book you keep out, because it tells you exactly what's going on. Fallen angels are coming down. They're grabbing the women. They're going into them multiple times. They're having children by them. These are hybrid beings known as the Nephilim. They are soulless. So you've got demons wandering the earth. They're earthbound. So what does the dragon do? A demon, the dragon knows that a demon, in order for a demon to manifest, has to inhabit a person, has to inhabit an animal or an object. So what does the dragon do? He creates the Greys. It's a biological construct. It's an avatar. How do we know this? Because experiencers, people who have been on board the ships, including Whitley Strieber, talks about seeing the Greys stacked up like cordwood, stacked up like chairs, okay? One on top of each other. And there is no reproduction system, as I said earlier. There doesn't seem to be a digestive system. So they're biological suits. They're expendable. I remember sitting down with the late David Flynn and talking to him about this, and he also agreed on that. So moving along, now you've got the giant of Kandahar, all right? And the giant of Kandahar, we don't know how old that thing is. According to the shooter and the eyewitnesses, the smell was so overpowering, people began to gag. It made them nauseous. So are we looking at a being that's 1,000 years old, 2,000 years old, 3,000 years old? And what about Bigfoot? So Bigfoot, in my opinion, is a modern day Nephilim. It's a hybrid. I believe that they are all have a nefarious agenda, in spite of what some people tell us. That's right now, with the evidence I have, that's what I'm going with. There's a very nefarious agenda when it comes to Bigfoot and Sasquatch. They also have the ability to pop in and pop out. The Kandahar giant allegedly had the same ability to bilocate from one place to another. Again, this comes from years of research, talking to whistleblowers, talking to people that have come up to me, and everything is very privy information. In other words, I can't divulge the source. But some of these people were embedded in special forces, and I'll just leave it at that. So let's walk through it. Fallen angels are fallen angels. They've come down and they create through grabbing the women and having sex with the women. Okay, and for some of you out there, you got a real problem with that, but that's what happens. They create a hybrid being known as the Nephilim. The flood happens, the Nephilim are wiped out. The disembodied spirits of a Nephilim are the demons that roam over the earth. Disembodied spirits, in order to manifest, need something to dwell in. A human being, a group of animals like the swine, where Jesus cast out legion from the man of the tombs, and they go into the swine, or an object. The giant of Kandahar, in my opinion, may be thousands of years old. In other words, we know that there's a diaspora when Joshua and Caleb go into the promised land. Are we looking at the diaspora of giants? Afghanistan is not that far away from the Middle East. There is a cave system, allegedly, that is underneath this planet, and you can go from one part of the planet to another. That giant at Kandahar came out of a cave, and more about that later. So you've got the Nephilim, the disembodied spirits, which become the demons, the Greys, where the demons can inhabit those biological constructs, those suits, and they can manifest in this dimension. The giant of Kandahar, which can bilocate, and Sasquatch, Bigfoot, which also can bilocate. They come in and they come out. They're interdimensional entities, in my opinion. Let's walk through Miami. In the 90s, Barry Chamish, who was an Israeli journalist, wrote a book, The Return of the Nephilim. I met Barry, and at that time, this was 1999, I had my first book in the Nephilim trilogy published, Nephilim, The Truth Is Here. And I went down to see Barry. He was speaking at a MUFON meeting, and we met and we talked, and I just said, "Hi, Barry," and I held up the book, and his jaw dropped, because he realized someone else was in the same genre that he was. And Barry and I would communicate through phone and internet later. He passed away a number of years ago now. Barry's book talks about the giants appearing in Israel. There were footprints, there were photographs. So that brings us to what might have happened in Miami. Don't know. There's several TikTok reports. There's allegedly from a couple of people who were there. They saw shadowy figures, very dark, very tall, and they would bilocate from one place to another. What are we looking at? Folks, I have no idea. I wasn't there. If you know somebody who maybe has cell phone images, no matter how blurry, of the event, please shoot them here. la@lamarzulli.net. la@lamarzulli.net. So I'm following this story because, 60 to 100 police cars converging on the mall because some teenagers are throwing firecrackers and battling each other with sticks. That may be exactly what happened. That may be the truth. I don't know. I really don't know. And a group of teenagers, you get 100 teenagers together wearing ski masks and rampaging through a mall, they can do millions of dollars worth.
See, he was on the same type of time I was, because I'm thinking like, okay, well, 100 of teenagers, yeah, that makes more sense to have that many cop cars. But if it was only a couple of teenagers and to only have that many cop cars, so definitely more needs to come out. I love the way he broke it down and explained everything, made a bit more sense of it. So that's dope. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books. I appreciate you guys for stopping by yet again and watching another one with me. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me. Smash the subscribe button if you're not already a part of the iTrack fam. And I will definitely catch you on the next one.